There we go. All right. So happy you could join us today for the Experienced CS Teacher Workshop. My name is Lori Goldade, and I'm a PD specialist here at CodeHS. And I'll be helping to lead parts of this workshop, but we have a lot of other team members with us today. So I'll give them each a chance to introduce themselves as well. Julia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia Trigo, and I am a teacher at a high school in Virginia during the school year. And this summer, I am coming back to CodeHS. I used to work at CodeHS writing curriculum, and now I'm back here for the summer leading some PD workshops for teachers using CodeHS throughout the year. So I'm really excited for our session today.
Thanks, Julia. Yeah, we are excited that she is back too and that she joined the PD team. We also have Linda with us. Linda, you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Linda, and I'm here joining you guys from West Palm Beach, Florida. I was previously a computer science teacher as well, taught kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, and used CodeHS for about 6 years. So I'm excited to be here with experienced teachers.
Thanks, Linda. And we also have Emily with us. Emily, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily. I'm a customer experience specialist here at CodeHS. So if you're ever writing into the support email or chatting with us in the inbox, that's me. And I'll just be helping out today to point you in the direction of some resources.
Thank you so much, Emily. She is awesome and will be taking care of a lot of our questions. I don't know, she might be answering some questions for all of us too. So, all right. And if you haven't had a chance yet to click that attendance link, that is in chat. Julia's tossed that in there for us. So just take a second and click that and let us know you are here today. All right, so we did just start introductions. If you have not had a chance to introduce yourself, go ahead and toss your name, what you teach, school you're at, where you're coming to us from today, or anything else you'd like to share. Looks like we've had a couple more introductions. Welcome, Teresa. We have an APCSP, JavaScript and web design teacher. Cool. Yeah, it looks like we have a good, awesome bunch of teachers today. So go ahead and keep tossing your intros into chat. All right, and if you have any questions for us today, you can certainly use chat for some quick questions, but we also don't want your questions to get lost. And sometimes chat gets a little bit cluttered depending on the size of the group. And since we have a good size group today, you can always toss those questions into our question parking lot. Julia just tossed that link into chat as well. Just go to codehs.com/experienced-questions. And you can add any of your questions here. We will make sure that if we can't answer your question during the session, we will definitely get it answered after the session. All right. Okay, so our agenda is packed. We have 2 hours with you, and we are going to take advantage of every second of that time if we can. So we're going through the introduction, virtual check-in right now. We've just gotten through a few of the little beginning pieces, and we are going to get you enrolled in the CodeHS demo section as well. We're also going to do a quick activity with learning goals. And then Julia is going to take us through some CodeHS course catalog information so you can see what we've got in that course catalog. It grows every single year, so we're excited to talk about some of the new courses that are available. And then Julia is also going to tell us about some tools that are available. You might be familiar with a lot of these, but we'll definitely be pointing out a lot of things that you have access to. Then we'll take just a really short break, and then I'll join again and talk about course customization. And we'll talk a little bit about how we can customize our CodeHS courses. And that's no matter if you are a free teacher or a pro teacher. So we'll go over all of that information. And then Linda's going to take us into the sandbox and real-time collaboration. If you have not tried out the sandbox or tried out the collaboration tool, you are going to love this. You'll all get a chance to give this a try. And then we'll end with just a short wrap up and try to answer any of those lingering questions that you might have. All right, so And I just noticed I should have maybe changed that to learning goals. I left introductions up on the top, but that's okay. We'd love to know a little bit about what your learning goals are for this workshop today. So if you could either browse out to codehs.com/cs-goals, or you can grab a picture of this QR code, and that's going to take you out to a Padlet. So if you could take just a minute to head out there and tell us a little bit about what you'd like to learn today, that would be awesome. We do like to have you tell us a little bit about what your goals are. So if we can customize anything, we will definitely do that. I'll give you a second. I'm going to leave that QR code on the screen for just a bit. Maybe I'll just pull up a Padlet on a different screen. I don't want to take that away just in case you need that. And I'll flip over to the Padlet in a second. All right. Looks like we're getting some activity there. A few people joining. There we go. I'm a little bit laggy, so if I stay a little bit laggy, I'm going to shut my video off. How do you answer students who say, when am I going to use this in my life? Oh my gosh, that's a great question. It's definitely something we can talk about. My thought is, when are they not going to use this? They are learning some really critical skills, just problem solving skills, critical thinking skills. So it's beyond just learning a coding language. All right, I would like to learn how to incorporate CodeHS into my curriculum. Cool, we can definitely talk about that. And I think as you start seeing some of those tools and resources, you will definitely get an idea of ways you can use the platform. And then as we talk more about customizing, you can actually see how you can use the CodeHS platform to embed any of your resources. So even if you might use some other curriculum, there are ways that you can include that in your CodeHS course as well. Let's see. I would like to motivate students to do well in my class. Yeah, we'll definitely see. And I think we've got some awesome strategies to do that. I know that was always something, we were all classroom teachers, and we always thought about, how do we motivate students to want to do well and, stay engaged in the material. We can definitely attest that CodeHS is very good about engagement. So we can certainly talk to some of that, speak to that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let you keep filling out that Padlet. If you'd like, we'd love to see more of your learning goals for this workshop today. Okay. All right, so now here comes the fun part. If you do not have an account yet for CodeHS, we would love for you to sign up for one. Please browse out to codehs.com/signup. And Julia's tossed that link into chat as well. And this is if you don't have a teacher account. All accounts are free. You can browse to this URL to sign up for one. It should just take a few seconds. It shouldn't take long. If you have any trouble, go ahead and toss a message into chat. If you do have an account, we would love for you to go ahead and sign in to codehs.com with your educator account. I'm going to go ahead and click to the next screen. And we'll pause here for a bit. Once you are signed into CodeHS with your teacher account, we would love for you to browse out to this URL, codehs.com/go/4A555, and enroll in our demo section that we'll be using today. We'll use it a little bit today. This will be a little bit different of a workshop, but we still wanted to have a section for you to enroll in. So go ahead and enroll in this section. You'll be asked for a course code, and that is the last 5 characters of this URL. Julia's also pasted that into chat, 4A555. We'll give you a minute to do that. I'm actually going to jump over to the course. Let's refresh. It's thinking. Saying, Lori, you should shut your video off. Okay, we've got 7 of you so far. Might have a few more. Perfect. If you have any trouble enrolling in the section, if you could go ahead and toss a message either into chat, or you could even add it to that question parking lot, and one of us can help you get enrolled in this section. Whew, you are all joining like crazy. Love it. Filling up that section. All right, go ahead and keep joining. I'm going to take just a quick peek over here in assignments. And you're going to see this in a little bit different view. This is the teacher view, but you will see a welcome section that's added here. And we'll talk about this in customizing more, but you'll see this link to the slides here. You'll see the end of workshop survey here. Here's that learning goals Padlet that we just did. And there'll even be a fun Flipgrid reflection if you'd like to take part in that. But we will take a closer look at that later. Okay, and I think we're doing pretty well with getting everybody enrolled. Ah, look at that, 14 people now. All right, so we're gonna let you keep enrolling. Again, if you have any questions or you have any trouble enrolling, definitely just send a note in chat and we will keep an eye on that. Or you can always add a question to that question parking lot and we'll get you enrolled. All right, so this is my cue to stop talking. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop my share so Julia can share. And I'm going to turn this over to Julia.
Okay, awesome. So we are going to dive into the course catalog first. I saw a lot of people who have been teaching a bunch of different courses with CodeHS so far, but like Lori was saying, we have so many new courses every year. So I worked on the curriculum team until the last summer. And then I came back this year and I was like, oh my gosh, there's still so many new ones that CodeHS has made in that short time that I was gone. So I'm really excited to talk about the courses that we have had available for a while, courses that have come out in the last few years, and then the ones that are coming out this summer. So here we go. And if you have any questions about any of these courses, you can just put that right in the parking lot and we can make sure we give you a link so you can get more information about them. So CodeHS has a pathway here where you can at your school, you can teach students computer science from 6th all the way to 12th grade and have multiple options at each level. So these are just suggestions. Everyone is in a different scenario, and we have a lot of courses that aren't even on this list. But this is just a good idea to think about where you could fit all of these different courses in with your students as they go through their academic career. So let's dive in and see what these courses are. So we're going to start with some middle school courses. Our first one is an Intro to Programming with Karel the Dog. And so if anyone has taught our JavaScript course, this is that first module, but expanded. So there's a lot of information about those basic structures, those basic foundations of computer programming. This is all going to be in JavaScript. There is the blocks option. So you can see here, students are able to code with blocks and then switch over to text. This is a really, really nice way to introduce students in a not as scary way, or students who have not the best typing skills, introduce them to computer science and then slowly wean them from blocks to text. We also are a similar course that we have using those same foundations and engaging visuals is in Python. And this is going to use this little turtle named Tracy. This is a 1/4 course as well as was the Karel course. And this is going to teach them all those basic concepts as well, but using Python in order to tell Tracy to move around this screen. There's a lot of really awesome ways for you to have students be creative as they use Tracy to draw different things on the screen. And we're going to take a look at that towards the end of our workshop today. We also have a middle school web design option for both semester or full year, depending on how much time you have with your students. The semester option is going to be more focused on HTML. And then if you have that extra time in the year-long course, we're going to also include CSS. For that HTML portion, you'll see in this demo here that students also have that option to go from blocks to text. And then as they get to those higher level concepts in CSS, then they'll be weaned off and totally in the text view. We also have a really popular course, Intro to Cybersecurity. So many schools and states around the country are adopting standards on cybersecurity because it's so important for students to understand how the internet works and how they fit into it and how to be safe as they're going through. So our middle school cybersecurity course talks about digital literacy and cyber hygiene. This is a 1-semester course, but they have a lot of simulations like the one you see here to show them all these different really important concepts in cybersecurity. We have some other kind of mashup courses. So this one is a semester middle school course that is going to have them first start with programming with Karel, and then they're going to move on to what is computing in general, right? Like, why does that matter? What is that? What is happening when the computer is running code? Diving a little bit more into that after they've done a little bit of programming. We also have this Intro to the Internet course, which is going to take some concepts from web design in HTML and CSS. Then they're going to look, what is actual digital information? How are colors or numbers or text being stored? And you'll see here they have they're doing a binary activity here to look at that information and how they can create different things using that knowledge, and then looking larger at what the internet is and how it's connecting us in all different ways. And this is a semester-long course as well. We also have, this is one of my favorite courses that just came out last year. We had been working really hard. We know that there's a lot of schools that want to bring physical computing into their classroom. They want to have a way to show students that what they're doing on the computer is also related to what's happening in the physical world. So this is a really good introduction to robotics. If you have a robotics course, students are going to come into this course with some basic foundation of concepts in any language, and then they're going to apply it to this microbit device. And so this is a little bit different of a course on CodeHS. They are going to use an outside platform to actually code their microbit. And there is a materials list. There's a lot of resources and helpful things to help you get started with that. So if you want more information about that, make sure you send that in the chat so we can get you all of that, that good stuff that lives there. We also have Computing Ideas, which is a full year course. And this has a lot of different topics from a lot of those semester-long courses that we had talked about. This is going to have students also do some computing and web design and some computing with Karel. So learning some JavaScript and some HTML and CSS. And this is one of my favorites. This can be either a semester or full year course. And this is one course where students are getting to experience 3 different programming languages, or 4 if you're going to do the full year with CSS added on top. So students are going to learn some JavaScript, then go through Tracy with Python, and then learn HTML and CSS. So this is a really nice way for them to see all these different pieces and languages and how they're different and why you would use one over the other, and maybe think about which are really getting them excited. Do they really like solving the puzzles with Karel, or do they like building websites with web design? Then we're going to move into our solely high school courses. And this is our first course that we ever released, our Intro to JavaScript course. This is going to start with Karel, but then it's going to expand and includes a lot of JavaScript graphics like this one you see here. And this is a really nice way to keep students engaged as they are learning these higher level concepts. So there are many different options for this course, semester long, full year long, and we even have advanced or beginner levels as well. So you can find all of those in the catalog. Our Python course is going to start with Tracy the same way that JavaScript starts with Karel, but then students are going to get further into the actual Python language. There is semester and full year options for this as well. And they're going to be able to learn a lot of higher level concepts in Python as they move through the course. We have a more advanced web design course for high school students that also includes Bootstrap. So that's added on to that beginner HTML CSS course. And students on CodeHS have, with their login, they have their own website, their own URL. So this is a really awesome way for them to showcase everything that they have learned in their own kind of platform, their own section that is just theirs. Then we have high school cybersecurity. So we do have 2 versions of the cybersecurity course. And then we have an actual advanced cybersecurity course. So we started with an intro to cybersecurity course, which was the first cybersecurity course we had developed. And then when we realized how many people and how many states and how many teachers wanted to use this content, we said really quickly, we know we want to make an advanced level. So we then reworked that intro level to become fundamentals of cybersecurity. And then now students have that option of getting to that next level with the advanced cybersecurity course. And we have also found a way to get the fundamentals of cybersecurity course to line up with cybersecurity standards and certifications that are available. So now this is a really awesome opportunity for your students to dive into that material. And if they, they love it, they're ready, they can keep going and work on those advanced levels as well. So we have semester, full year versions. There's a lot of information about all of these courses available for you in that catalog. And we're going to take a look at that catalog after we go through all these course descriptions. We also have an intro to virtual reality course, which is kind of a mini course. It's only about 4 to 6 weeks. So a lot of teachers I saw there were a lot of people teaching AP. This is a really nice way for students to still be, in coding, doing new programming languages, but it's really engaging and fun because they're seeing these virtual worlds that they can build. So this is a nice option to use after the AP test, or just as maybe like a little break in between, a brain break that students can work on building these virtual reality worlds. We also have mobile apps course, which uses React Native. So this allows our apps to be run on students' phones, whether they have an iPhone or an Android device. So this is a really nice option for any student in your classroom to be able to build an app and then run it right away on their own device to see how the interaction works. So this is definitely a more advanced course, but there are multiple options, and this is a really high need area right now. We know there's apps for everything, and this is something that every company is looking for. So having that knowledge of even just how that works, what the basics are, your students could build apps and get them in the App Store from going through this course. And then the same way that we introduced physical computing with microbit for middle schoolers, we also have this higher level course with Arduino. So they're going to learn the same concepts that they learned in the microbit course, but Arduino is just a little bit more of a, the device has a lot more capabilities. So, and the language is a little bit more syntactically complex. So this is the reason that we stress Arduino to be more for high schoolers and microbit to be more for middle schoolers. But I definitely can see both of those. If you want to use microbit with your high schoolers as well, I think that is totally something that would work depending on how you structure your course. All right, then we have our AP Computer Science principles. We started with this course in just JavaScript, and then recently added a version where you can teach all of this content using Python. So if you are someone who has used our AP CSP course in JavaScript, you might want to check out and see our Python version and see if that's something you'd be interested in. There's also so many resources on CodeHS for all of our AP courses, and we are endorsed by College Board for those. We have also our AP Computer Science A course, which is in Java. And again, that has lots of extra resources for your students. And we will be leading a workshop on AP Computer Science A tomorrow. So you can come join us if that's something you want to learn more about specifically. We have a bunch of interdisciplinary modules as well. So if you just want to bring your students a little bit of computer science, maybe you teach something else, or you know people in your school, your colleagues who are interested in maybe intermingling, bringing some computer science and with other into their other courses that they teach. This is a really nice option for you to check out. There's a bunch of ones that are a little bit more fun and focused on just getting students excited about programming in general. And those would be our music, art, and sports. And then we have other ones where you can bring computer science into those other disciplines that you're teaching. So science or math, we have some options there, and there are even more coming out as the year goes on. Which brings us to our new courses. So this summer, we are developing a bunch of new courses, and they are not fully released yet. So you will not be able to enroll your students in those courses yet, but they will be released by the end of this month. And I'm going to show you how to find more information about that when we go to the catalog after this. So we have our Intro to Artificial Intelligence. This is a higher level course. So there is a prereq that is optional, but is something that is definitely recommended. Students are going to use Python for this AI course. And this is a semester long. So you can teach students some of the Python information and then have them hop over into this AI course. We also are launching a course, Game Design in Unity, which has been something that teachers have been asking for so long. And is so, I heard we were talking about wanting to find ways to get students engaged. Unity is an incredible platform where students are able to build games that look like the games that they're playing, the games that they, are going home and playing on their phones, playing on their computers, playing on their Xbox. So this is a really, really awesome way to get students really excited about programming. And there's no prereq here. So even though Unity is a really high level program, this platform is used by game designers all over. You can still have students get started with no prior experience because of the way that the course is scaffolded. So it's a really awesome option. We have a data science course that I just started looking at and is an amazing way to bring computer science and math together. Students are learning about data, how is data collected, why is data collected, how is it used, and then what does it mean and how can we transform it and how can we learn from that data. So this is a really awesome semester-long course where the recommended prereq for this is some introductory Python information, though this one is not as high level as some of the other courses, that AI course. We also have a data structures course in C++. This is the first course that we have developed that is in C++. A lot of teachers have been asking about that. So this is a really awesome next level or way to get students introduced to this new language. But the prereq for that is some full year of CS. For example, an AP CS course would be a really good way for them to be feeling ready to take this data structures in C++. So a lot of teachers are thinking about bringing this into their course after the AP exam. And if you are a school that doesn't teach AP but teaches IB instead, we just are launching some IB courses that are linked to those standards in those IB courses. And like I had said before, still coming up with more and more interdisciplinary modules for our courses that you can use in math or science in lots of different ways there. So before we hop over to tools, we are going to take a look at our course catalog. So if you go onto your main CodeHS page and you click My Courses, you'll see at the bottom of your course list, it might be much longer than mine here, but you'll see View Course Catalog. And if you click on there, you will see the full catalog of all of our courses. You can search right there. You can filter for middle or high school. You can look for a certain language. Our coming soon are those courses that are not released yet. So you won't be able to enroll your students yet, but those are going to be fully released by the end of the month. So you can find a lot of really good information here. If you click Learn More, you'll get a full page of info with demos and lots of links for the specific course. You can look at the units, the syllabus, and you can add or enroll your students right there. All right, so I know that was a lot of info, and I see a lot of awesome links being thrown into the chat, so that is great. I want you to definitely take a few minutes to a little bit of time to explore those courses and think, is there a course that you are really interested in bringing to your students that you haven't before? And we have lots of different ways for you to communicate with other computer science teachers. We'll be giving some of those links at the end. So if you want information like, has anyone taught APCSP in Python yet? And how has that gone? There are a lot of other ways for you to communicate with other people who are teaching CodeHS. But we are gonna hop over to some tools now. So that was a lot of info about our courses and all those options that we have. But now we're gonna take a look at some tools on CodeHS. And I see a lot of you who have been with us for other sessions that we've had so far this summer. I am not going to go through the main tools that we usually go through because I know that you are here because you are feeling like you've already used CodeHS before. If you haven't and you are here, you'll see you will get the slide deck for today, and it's linked in your course, your demo course as well. You'll see lots of images and information about all of those tools that we usually go through at our main level workshops. So this is a lot of good information for you. But I am going to demo some of our other tools that I think are really cool and ones that you might not know about. So we're going to go over, if you are on your main page and you click into your section, you will see, and I have all these tabs, I'm going to hopefully close them out as I go. If we click into our section, you'll see your list of students, and you'll have your all your drop downs at the top with a lot of information. So the first tool that I want us to take a look at is this grading settings. So if you click in and open grading settings, you'll see this is where you can choose if an assignment is going to be graded by you or graded by our auto graders. And so we have auto graders in many, many of our courses. This is a way for you to not have to go through every single assignment and grade those specifically for each student. And it also benefits the students because they can see if they successfully completed an activity before moving on to the next one. So auto graders are a really awesome tool that we have that I think makes the life of many computer science teachers so much better, so much easier. But there might be a specific assignment that you want to grade yourself. You want it to come into your grading queue. So you'll see here, all of these modules are currently set to auto-graded. This first one says mixed. So what that means, and I can expand, you can choose, do I want this entire module to be auto-graded, this lesson to be auto-graded or this specific activity. And this will only apply for actual exercises in the course. So here you'll see your first Karel program, we want that to be auto-graded. But then once students get to short stack, maybe I want to check and make sure, because they just started the course, I want to go in and give them direct feedback. I want to make sure that they are, learning those concepts right off the bat. So you can set that to teacher graded. And now this means that is going to come into your queue for you to grade for that student, for all your students. And you have so much control here with these drop downs. You can do it by module, lesson, or activity. And the next thing we're going to look at is quiz settings. So that is going to be down here. This is something that is pretty new. When I left CodeHS to go back to teaching this year, we were just working on this. And now these are so many awesome options that teachers have been asking about for a long time. So we have separated quizzes into different categories because some of our quizzes are really just a check for understanding. We just want to check if students have watched the video or have understood the information before they move on to actual exercises. We might have a final or a quiz that might be something that is actually testing their knowledge at a certain point, or a unit quiz. So there are lots of different options here. And now because we have these broken out, you can choose, maybe for a check for understanding, you want students to know which, if they were right or wrong, and you want to show them what the correct answer is. And this will also give them feedback of why that is the right answer. And you can check on and off if you want, as soon as a student answers a question, it to tell them if they were right or wrong and what the correct answer was. So they are basically learning as they go on. But maybe for a final, you wouldn't want them to see their results after every single question. You want them to have to finish the whole quiz and click submit before they can see what those right answers were. Or maybe you don't want to show them at all. You can just turn that off and save that as a setting for your students for those types of quizzes. So you have a lot more control now over how your students are receiving feedback. You also can turn shuffle on for your quizzes at the module level, lesson, or activity. And now, so maybe for the check for understandings, you don't want to shuffle those, but then you do want them to shuffle when it is a final, for example. So lots of options in that quiz settings section. Then we're gonna go to this really awesome page that might be a little scary, but we're gonna look at it all together. So if we go to more and we click all tools, and it says advanced, I think because we don't want you to get scared, but there's so much awesome information here. So once you click here, you're gonna get all of the tools that we have available. You're gonna see a description of them. You're gonna see this status. And what this means is this a new tool or is this a tool that we have had for a while and it's fully established? So a green dot means it's a live tool, yellow means it's in beta, and pink means it's even less than that, it's in alpha, right? We're just getting started there. But you can see what things are coming up. So that's really awesome. You can see right here, we always get those questions, right? We want to give you all this information, but of course we have a free plan, we have pro plan, and you are wondering, which tools can I use if I'm just on free? Which tools would I need pro for? This is a really awesome page to show you exactly which tools are pro and which are free. And it's awesome to see how many of them are on our free plan and available to you. With that, you can see your access as well. This is, does my account, the account that I'm on, do I have access to this tool, right? So if you aren't on a pro account, you would not see some of these check marks so that you know right away which tools can I use, which ones are not available to me right now. And then another really, really great thing here are direct links. So if I always, whenever I'm going through these tools section, I say, right in the parking lot, we want to give you this information about how to use this tool so that you can make sure you know how to do it once you're not on this workshop webinar anymore. Right here on this page, you have help articles and video demos linked right here. So if you're like, I remember, her talking about gradebook in the workshop, but I don't really remember all of the things that were available, you can go right to the help article or right to the video demo to get more information about that. All right. Okay. And the last thing we are going to look at are these other teacher resources. So if we go over to the side, we can click resources and you'll see a page like this. There's so much information here. And I know we have, you may have looked at some of these already, but I want to show you some really, really helpful things that maybe you haven't thought about or you didn't know existed. So if we hop into lesson plans, you'll see all of them for all of your courses. You can choose a lesson and open up that lesson plan. And you'll see so much information here. I think, we try to push lesson plans so much because there's so much helpful information all in one spot for you. So you have your activities right there, your solution references. So I know we have talked about this, that you have these available to you. So if you open one of these up, you'll see what is the assignment and what is the solution. And as our courses, as our activities and exercises get more intense, get more higher level, get more complicated, that solution might be more difficult for a student to find. So I heard one teacher that has been using CodeHS for a long time has a really awesome way of using these solution references in his classroom. He prints these off and puts them in a binder at the front of the room, and students are able to go up to the binder and flip through and find the solution reference for a specific exercise they're working on, but they're not allowed to bring it back to their desk. So they're allowed to view it, but they have to remember, maybe they're just like really stuck with how they should format their loop, and they can go up, they can see the loop, and it's just a trigger for them. Oh, that's what I need to do, and then go back to their desk and finish writing their solution there. So there are a lot. That's only one way that a teacher has used these, but there's so many creative ways that teachers use our resources in their classroom to work for their students. And you're going to get a few minutes to talk about that in just a bit with some other teachers here. From your lesson plan, we also have our handouts, which we are just adding and improving more and more and more as we go through, as we develop these courses. And you'll see for our handouts, you're going to have student and teacher versions. So your student version is going to look the same as your version. You're going to see everything. You can print it right from here. Your teacher answer key is going to include all of the answers. And if there's any other information you need, you'll get that as well on the teacher version. So you'll get any other information that is important for you as the teacher to know before you do this handout with your students. And these are really awesome ways for you to get your students off the computer and applying the information that they're learning in class in another way. All right, we're going to go back over to our resources, and we have two more things to look at. So the next one is our syllabus. When you open up your syllabus, you'll see all of our courses, and you can open the syllabus for the specific course you want to take a look at. And a lot of teachers ask, how do I know pacing for this course? How long is it going to take me to do this module? How long should I expect this unit to take? You have all that information right in the syllabus. So we have what we expect you that amount of material will take. And then you'll see some of those, different sample exercises that you have there, and you have links directly to the modules from there, so you can take a look at that. And the last resource that a lot of people don't know we have are offline assessments. So a lot of teachers, they use CodeHS and they're like, oh, this is so awesome that I have all of this information, but I need to give a midterm. and now I have to make a midterm. Well, actually you don't. So we have offline assessments for many of our courses. Most of them have a midterm and a final, which both include multiple choice and short answer questions. And so you don't, obviously you don't have to use these as is, but this is a really, really great resource for you to get started if you want to build something your own, or see how you want to do this with your students. So for example, for the midterm for our JavaScript course, this will tell you exactly which modules in the course are being tested for this midterm. It will tell students, go to this module to take the multiple choice section, so that that will be graded for you. Or you can always print off the multiple choice as well for your students right here. And then they have they're going to go through the concepts of the course and apply them in these different ways, right? So it's not just all writing code. They might have to write code in some parts, and that is also a really good way to test what they know, if they can write it themselves without, you know, docs up, without the code editor giving them information. So you're going to get your offline assessments as well as any answer keys, which will give you all the information you need as a teacher and tell you how you can grade that work for those students. All right. So that was a lot of information. And you will get a lot of those tools and that information again in that slide deck. So we want to give you a chance, because one of the best parts of our sessions today are that you are here with a bunch of other teachers who teach using CodeHS. So we want you to think now, have you used these resources in your classroom? Have you used lesson plans? Have you used the solution guides in there? Is there a unique way that you have used those that has really worked for your students? Or what are other ways that you think would be helpful to use these resources to make your CodeHS class even better than it has been? So we are going to go into some breakout rooms. Lori, are we getting those set up, or I can do them as well? You're all okay?
I think I have them ready to go.
So, all right, perfect. So we'll be in there for maybe about 10 minutes, and then we'll take a little break before we hop into our next sessions for today.
All right, I'm opening up the rooms now.
And so you'll just have to click from the pop-up to join your breakout room. We'll see you in a bit.
And if you're not seeing the pop-up, you should be able to click on breakout rooms toward the bottom of your screen. And that should also give you access to your room. Okay, I think we have everybody back now. We hope that was some productive breakout rooms. We hope you have some good discussions with some of the other teachers that are at the workshop today. And for right now, before we head into the second hour, we are going to give you a little bit of a screen break. So we're going to give you 5 minutes to get up, stretch, go get some more coffee, grab a snack, and then head on back to your seat. And we are going to tackle customizing and have some fun with the sandbox and collaboration tool next. So let's see you back in 5 minutes. So about 7 minutes after the hour, be ready to start. Thanks, everyone. Okay, everybody. Looks like it is 7 minutes after the hour, and we have a lot to get to yet. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into course customization. So how many of you have done any customizing in your CodeHS courses? You can go ahead and tell me in chat if you have. Oh, I've seen somebody say, no, haven't done it. Cool. Okay, excellent. You're going to love this. Even if you've done a little bit, this tool changes constantly. So I feel like we're always making improvements, and this is just such a really great way to really use CodeHS as your class LMS if you'd like. Oh, cool. So I'm seeing no. Excellent. One person's used it a little bit. Okay. So perfect. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Now we have a lot of slides that we're including here, but again, I'm not going to stick with the slides because there's, we can see this from the course. So why look at pictures if we can do this directly in our section? And I thought it might be fun. Not sure if this will be a good plan or not, but I'm going to go ahead and use our demo section to demonstrate a little bit of this because we've already done some customizing here. So I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what you can do. And I promise I'll make sure everything's here for you. We won't take anything away. All right, so this is the section that I'm going to use to demonstrate some of this. Yep, and Emily, thanks for that reminder. If you've got questions as you go here, and this might be an area where you definitely might run across some, definitely throw those into that question parking lot. That's a great place to get some answers for any questions you might have here. So this is my assignments page in my section, and I'll just bounce right back up here for a second. You can see across this top toolbar that I can get to the roster page from here. This is a page that you're more than likely familiar with if you've used CodeHS before. If it goes, there we go. So this is my roster page, and this is all of you who have joined our demo section for this workshop so far. So I'm going to click on assignments. I can click on assignments from this top toolbar, or I can even click on assignments from the toolbar on the left-hand side. I'm going to go ahead and collapse that left-hand toolbar to give us just a little bit more real estate. So this is what I see from the teacher perspective. So here is where I can come to see all of the all the content that's included for this CodeHS course. So I'm going to first see the view from all of the modules that I've included in the course. Now this is just our demo section. So we've picked just a few different modules to include here. We picked a couple of Karel modules and then a couple of Python and Turtle modules as well. So you can try any of those out that you like. We won't take you out of this course. You'll actually stay in this. So you can play with this once the workshop is done. So this is all the module view or the unit view. If I click on the plus sign, it will expand and I can see all of the lessons in each of the units. And then I can actually click on the plus sign again to expand and see all of the activities in all of the lessons. So the way a course is organized is by unit or module, lesson, and then all of the activities inside of the lesson. And so that'll be something we'll keep in mind as we start to get into customization. I'm going to go ahead and close all of those up for now. There is one module here that is a little different too. This is one that we've actually added on our own, and this is something that we're going to show you how to do with your own courses in just a little bit. So let's start with some of the basics first. So with any of our courses, you can always reorder any of the material here. So if you add an entire course from the CodeHS catalog, you can absolutely reorder that because you basically get your own copy of the course. So I can come in and click on edit right here in the top right-hand corner. And when I do that, I can drag to reorder any of these modules. You'll see I got these three little bars here, they're indicating I'm in this edit mode. And so I can actually grab Karel Challenges and I can move that before programming with Karel. Might not make a ton of sense for our purposes to have the challenges before programming with Karel. You can absolutely choose to do that. Or maybe I want Karel Challenges at the very end, so I can move those down here. And all I'm doing is clicking and dragging. When I'm done rearranging those, I can click done back in the top right-hand corner again, and that goes back to edit. So that's just the basic of how to rearrange just the modules. I can also come into one of the modules itself. So with Karel Challenges, I can expand to see we have challenge problems. Actually, before I do that, let me go to one that actually has more stuff in it. Let me go up to programming with Karel. So we have all of these lessons. So I can actually click on these three dots on the right-hand side next to a lesson. And I can move this entire lesson to a different module if I like. So if I don't want Intro to Programming to be in this Programming with Karel module, maybe I want to move it. I can click Move to Module. I can choose a new module. Maybe I want it in the Welcome module. I'm going to choose Welcome, and then I'm going to say Move. Now you'll notice it's no longer in Programming with Karel. If I come up to Welcome, there it is. Intro to Programming with Karel has now been moved into the Welcome module. So it's super easy to move that. And now I've decided, yeah, I don't want it there. I can just click on those three dots again, click Move to Module, and I can move them back to Programming with Karel. And it'll shift for us. And I might have just a little bit of a lag here. Oh, nope, it decided to put it all the way down at the bottom. And that's actually kind of cool that it did that, because now I can show you another thing. I can move this lesson within this module. So if I want to move that back up to the top, click those three dots. Under Organize, I can click Move Up. And I will move it all the way back up so it makes sense if you're playing with this module and working through any of the lessons. Interesting. There we go. It actually goes really fast. I don't even have to click on those three dots again. That would be awesome if we could make that drag and drop, and maybe we'll make that as a suggestion. Okay, so I can move those lessons around. Then inside of the actual lesson, so let's go back into here with Programming with Karel. So we've learned how to move the modules. We've learned how to move the lessons. I can move any of these exercises as well. So let's say I want to take short stack and move that somewhere else, or maybe I want to move this check for understanding quiz. I think that's a common one where sometimes teachers like to give that at the end of a lesson rather than directly after that video. So I can come in here to the check for understanding quiz, move over to the right-hand side. You'll see I've got a few other options here too that you can play with later. I'm going to click on these three dots. And I can move this to an entirely different lesson if I like. So I can move it out of this lesson. I can also move this. I think I can move it up or down actually. There we go. Move down. There. Move down, move down, move down. And I'm just going to move it all the way down to the end of this lesson. So that way, instead of having that check for understanding quiz appear right after that video or the lesson content, if I want my students to maybe go through the example and the exercises, I can shift that to be the very end of the lesson. So super easy way to rearrange some content. Now let's also say, maybe I don't want two exercises in this first activity. maybe I think, well, actually I just have one exercise. Let's just say I don't even want that. I'm going to take it out. I don't want short stack anymore. So I don't want that to appear here. I'm going to move over to that right-hand side, find those 3 dots, the more ellipses, right? Click that. Under organize, I can click remove. Now it really wants you to make sure that you absolutely want to remove this. Here's our big red button. Are you sure you want to remove it? I am so sure. So I'm going to click yes, remove this. It's gone. Woohoo. And now you're probably thinking, okay, Lori, but what if I accidentally remove it? Even though there's a big red button that says, are you sure? Everything's asking us. There's still times when we delete something and then we want it back. I know I do that constantly. Well, we can go to the garbage can. To get to that trash can, we can scroll back up to the top of our list, click on course settings. And now once we're in course settings, we can do a lot of things like change the name of our section. We can get to those quiz settings here too. I can add teachers if I like, but at the very bottom, I can click on trash. And look at their short stack. I can just reach right into my trash can and click restore. And that's going to put this back. Let's click on view. Assignment has been restored. And there it is, right back from where I removed it from. So really nice way to just bring those assignments back. Even if I deleted an entire module, which I could, and that's going to take everything with it, I can still go to that trash can to dig it out and put it back. So nothing is ever really gone. But still keep in mind that, you know, you don't want to have to constantly keep going back to your trash to get things out of it, but you definitely can. Okay, so that was some of the quick little things that we can do just with the content that we have. Now I want to show you a little bit about this add button up here in the top right-hand corner. Love this add button. This is where you can do some really, really cool stuff. So remember I mentioned that we added this welcome module. This is not part of the CodeHS content. Well, this is definitely something that all of you can do too. So let's say we want to add another module. I'm going to click on add. And from the drop down, this very first part at the top, we have these 3 options here. These are how we add blank modules. So let's say I wanted to add maybe a unit for my own course where the kids will be watching or learning about, maybe they're learning some historical figures in computer science. So maybe we're going to learn about Alan Turing. Maybe we're going to watch the movie Hidden Figures to learn more about the women that were involved in the space program. We can do all of that. So from add, we can click on module. We get a little box that asks us to add the module title. So I'm going to say historical figures. We can even add an image. So that little logo that you see at the beginning of each module, you can add an image to add your own logo. You can click create. And it adds a brand new module to the end of the course. Now, if you'd like, you can come back up here and we can make a lesson and an assignment from here. I'll show you that one in a minute. We can also come down to this brand new module. We can click add new lesson. Maybe this will be, I'm not going to be very creative. I'm going to call it lesson 1. And I'm going to click create. And if I decide that I need to change that later and make that a better name, I can definitely do that. So remember, when we have a module, we have the module first, then we have the lesson inside the module. Then inside the lesson, we have the activity. So right now, all we have is a blank module and a blank lesson. There's nothing to do yet. So at this point, I can expand lesson 1. I can click on add new assignment. And now I have a wealth of options of things that I can add. We're not going to go through every one of these, but I'll give you an idea of how some of these work. There's so many options for what you can add here. You can actually add your very own coding exercise if you like. So if you'd like to write your own, you can definitely do that here. You can even add a practice problem where you would create your own auto-graded coding problem. So if you want to make your own problems, you can absolutely do that. And we'll see how much time we have. I might just do let's just do a quick peek at what this looks like. Okay, so I click to create my own exercise. Notice that I can choose from a lot of different languages here. Tons and tons of things: JavaScript, Java, Python, and different versions of each of these. I'll just scroll back for a second. Under JavaScript, you've got Karel, Ultra Karel, console, graphics, P5JS, one of my favorites, tons of things. And notice, coming soon. You have a lot of different exercises to pick from. Java, one of my favorite languages, Java Swing I love writing programs in Java Swing, and tons of Python. HTML, C++, SQL, and then other languages, including Swift, if we have any Swift programmers out there. I know that was always something that I like to do with kids, with Swift, and so excited that we can do that in the platform now too. But you can write your own coding exercises. You can also, notice I didn't finish it, so it said, all right, finish creating it, Lori, but I have an option to go back to that. Let's add another one, and I'm going to show you a couple of the, well, I think they're all pretty cool, but I'll show you a couple of the most popular. So you can add your own videos as well. So if you are a screencast teacher and you like to make instructions for your kids with a screencast, this is a great place to actually add those videos in. I know that's something I did often. I would just, when I would have a sub, instead of writing out notes, I just made a video. Well, you can add that directly into the class. And if you are somebody who likes some of those third-party apps, things like maybe Edpuzzle or TED Ed Creator, TED Ed Lesson Creator, you can actually use the CodeHS videos with those third-party products. All of our videos have YouTube links, and you can absolutely find those, add those into Edpuzzle, and build your own assessments with our videos. And once you've built those, you can add those directly into the course. They can all be embedded directly in the platform. So videos are another cool option here. There's also a really awesome notes type of exercise that you can add. So if you like to maybe give your kids notes, lecture notes, or maybe notes that just talk about what's the plan for the week, you can absolutely do that here too, and add that directly into the course. So they don't have to go to other LMSs. You can do that directly in the CodeHS platform. There is also free response. Love the free response too. Free response are just that. You can write a question and your students can answer that question. So if I choose plain text, I could actually say question of the day. And then I'll say, please answer this question. It's a terrible prompt because there is no question, but that's all right. This is just for demonstration right now. I can format this however I'd like. I can add images to it, and then I can click save. Thought I'd walk through this one really quick. Oh, there we go. So it's saved and I wasn't watching closely. It gives me just a quick check mark, and then I can preview what that looks like here. You'll see that you'll get the directions just like you will with any other CodeHS course or CodeHS activity. And mine's just a little bit laggy. There we go. And now students can actually come in, answer the question right here. And it's just inside the course. So no way for them to get lost as they're doing this. I actually love doing that for journaling. I think that's a great way to keep track of journals without looking for a notebook or having lost notebooks and things like that. A couple other things that I want to show you super quick. If we look down toward, there's a couple of places we can go. There's article, first of all. Article is a great way that I've found to actually include articles from the web. You can absolutely link different articles. I've even used this to link some Google Docs, but there's some other ways you can do those. So there's article, and then there's embed. So embed is down here at the bottom. And embed is really cool because this is where I can actually embed all of those other applications that I like to use. So let's say that I'm going to use the same Padlet that I used for learning goals. This is the Padlet, and this is the learning goals example. So if I want to embed a Padlet, I'm going to come out here to the learning goals that I sent all of you a little bit ago. I'm going to click on share in this Padlet. So when I click on share, I can come down to see the embed code. So I want to embed in my blog or my website. I'm going to copy this big long embed code here, and I'm going to jump back to my new assignment. I'm going to paste that embed code. I'm going to say, please add your learning goals. Oops, spell it right. And I'm going to click save. So I want to show you what this is going to look like. So when we embed another website, this is actually going to be built directly into the course. Students do not have to leave the CodeHS platform to actually do this Padlet. They can do it directly in the course. They can click continue, and you can see that they did it. There's no need for them to leave CodeHS. You can just add it here. And this does not have to be done before the school year starts. As you can see, this is something that I did right here with all of you in the course already. You might have to refresh, but you will definitely see this in your course. You can do this with any number of different products. Flipgrid is another one that you can do. You can see I actually have a Flipgrid here that we've added into the course. And if we take a look at the very top section here, you can see Flipgrid reflection. And you'll be able to see that you can complete a Flipgrid directly from the CodeHS platform. Pretty cool. And it's just built right in. I would just need to sign in here. So really awesome. So I want to show you just a couple more quick, fast things here. From this top drop down again from add, when I click on add, I can also add a sandbox program or CodeHS content. So you may have noticed that I had both Karel lessons and Tracy lessons in this demo section. Well, we'll show you how we did that. You can, no matter what course you've built, you can always add content from any of the other CodeHS courses. So when I click on add CodeHS content, I get the full list of courses, and I can search for what I'm looking for, or I can just scroll through the list and find what I'm looking for. So I know that we're all interested in cybersecurity as well. So I'm going to come down here to Intro to Cybersecurity. And I'm going to add, let's add some stuff. I'm going to add what is cybersecurity and digital citizenship and cyber hygiene. I can actually add by lesson if I like to. So maybe I don't want to include the quiz, I'll include it, but I can take that out if I like. I'm going to click Assign Selected. And I just assigned all of that into your demo section. So now when you refresh your section, you'll see that I've added more content here. There's that historical figures module that I added, but here is what is cybersecurity. And now I can actually, you can go through all those lessons too, and there's the digital citizenship one as well. Super easy to add whatever content you want. And one more thing, because there's always just one more thing. If I scroll to the bottom of this list, I'm going to click search for content. I can also get, if this does happen to be a class that has any supplementary material, which many do, you can absolutely come down here to find that. Since I'm in the section that I created from scratch, we're not going to see that, but you can definitely get to that from other courses. Okay, so that was a whole lot of stuff in about 20 minutes. Does anybody have any quick questions that I can answer or? All right. Awesome. Definitely try that out because it is a lot of fun. And I think right now we are getting into, yep, there's all the slides. See if I missed anything. Whoop, too far. I'm just going to stop sharing because now I'm getting crazy with it. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Linda, I'm going to get you set up here so you can start sharing.
All right, great. So as I'm getting ready to share, we're going to go through some sandbox programs and real-time collaboration, but just throw into the chat for me just so that I can kind of get to know my group a little bit. Kind of let me know, have you ever used the collaboration tool? Let's see. I've got a no. Okay. Wow, okay, this is gonna be fun. All right, great. So I actually just since we're all like confessing things now, as a teacher, I never got to use this tool either. It came out and I got the email and I was very excited, but in the middle of a really busy year, I didn't really get to test it out. So you get the benefit of just being here together. We can kind of mess with this and learn a little bit so that you can bring this back to your classroom in the fall. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely a way to get your students really engaged. So real quick, the slides again are going to be available in your demo course, so you'll be able to see all of these slides. But real-time collaboration is a way for you and your students to be able to work together on a coding activity at the same time and in real time. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at this together. So you can see here the slides and you can kind of view what that looks like. But let me go ahead and share my screen, and this should take me to the screen where I can see my demo course. Just a thumbs up from Lori. Okay, great. I'm just making sure that I'm actually sharing the right screen with you guys. So first and foremost, look, the sandbox is something that you may or may not have used with your students. Certainly, the first time I stumbled upon the sandbox was simply my students stumbling upon it because they love to click around and find things. And so they came up here to Sandbox and they were like, oh, I can create my own things. And it's very, very exciting. So first and foremost, just a little crash course on the sandbox. This is really a way for them to get a little bit of extra practice. This is a way for you, of course, to collaborate, but also for students just to let their, let their creativity flow and just have fun. And I think part of the reason that students may ask a question like, when am I ever going to use this, is because they don't really feel like it's relevant to them. But when they do something that is fun and exciting for them, something relevant to maybe another course they're working on. I've had students create websites on their sandbox for another course. I've had students that have used the sandbox for collaborating with other students and creating brand new programs. So this is a great way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a program. First and foremost, just a couple things down here. These buttons actually allow you to, if you are either teaching the web design course or you choose to teach your students HTML and CSS, they can actually create their own personal homepage. They get an extension URL. It'll be their username plus codehs.me. And they can actually have their own URL that's live and actually a working website. You can create folders. So if you'd like to, if you're the type of teacher that likes to keep everything organized, you can say, maybe I want everything for period 2 programming in one folder, and I can create that folder just so I can have it there, or maybe all of my intro to programming in one, all my AP, CSP in the other. So you can also view class sandboxes. Now on my demo page, I also had created a course for a middle school programming 1. And if I was to, like Lori showed you how you could easily find in assignments, I believe is where we were, You could add a sandbox course. So when she clicked down here and went to either CodeHS content, you can actually add a sandbox program, and that's how you can access it as well. So just giving you a heads up, that's where you can access and actually see all of your students as well. You can see their sandbox programs here as well, which is really helpful in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and create a program. So I'm just going to choose to create a program here. I'm going to call this Programming 1 Practice. And I'm going to go ahead and create that program. Now, what I have the options, I have all of those same languages that Lori talked about during her demo. I have them here, and I can choose what type of sandbox program I'm going to create. So today I'm just going to choose Karel as my sandbox program, and I'm going to hit create program there. And now what you'll see is the ability for me to just simply practice right here in a sandbox program. I can add, all sorts of code and run it and so on and so forth. So this is a great way for me to practice or send my students to the sandbox to do a little bit more, get a little more practice. They have the docs in here just as they would in a regular exercise. And they actually have a way to collaborate with one another, or you can collaborate with them. So this is where we get into the real-time collaboration. So we're going to demonstrate this for you, and then you're going to get an opportunity to break out into individual rooms and actually collaborate with one another. So real quick, I want to share exactly how you can get to the real-time collaboration. So when you're in the sandbox, you've created a program, or maybe you even done something like fork a program. And by forking a program, I mean, you've taken that program and done kind of like a remix. And it will, when you fork a program, it generally sends it to the sandbox. So we're going to hit share. Now, once I hit share, I have a couple of options. I can share my code, but it doesn't allow anybody to really do anything. I can also collaborate, and collaborate is the setting that you want in order for you to be able to share with other students. So it looks like I'm trying to collaborate on block programming to collaborate. Okay, so maybe switch to text. There we go. Let me try to close that. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and share again. Again, I collaborate. And now what I can do is I can simply copy this link and I can send it to those who I am collaborating with. So I'm going to go ahead and send this over to my class that I'm going to be collaborating with. And I'm going to hit close. Now, what will happen is you'll see I have a little icon that shows up at the top, and that is my name. But then I will also have students that will be added. I have Lori now joining me, Julia joining me, as well as Emily joining me. And now we are actually working on this program together. So you can see the colors kind of going there. And I have all sorts of things going on here. So you can see we are going to go ahead and run this program, see what's going on. Okay, so we have a little bit of a typo. I'm going to reset that. Now, just as a reminder, this program can be run by any of your students, but it'll only be saved by whoever actually created the collaboration. So if that's the teacher, they would be the ones to be able to run and save the program. So here I go. I'm going to go ahead and run this program and see what we made. I see we made a very interesting, okay, so Karel's upside down. She's a little confused right now, but you can see really the way that you could work with this with your students is perhaps a follow the leader type of scenario where you can start the code, they can end the code, you can show them how to debug their code. So perhaps, I come in here and I say, okay, class, looks like on line 8, we have a problem. Can somebody fix that for me? And I can have a student go ahead and fix my bug in my code. And again, they're going to do this in real time. Excellent. Thank you, Lori. And so this is just an excellent way for you to interact with your students. And also, it makes it available for them to also do pair programming. So they have the ability to also collaborate with one another. So it wouldn't just be about, teacher with students, but it could be student to student as well. So I'd love to hear from you in chat. What's a way that you can use this in your class? Pair programming, excellent. That's a great way. Definitely. Could we watch students complete an assignment? If you've forked that assignment, absolutely. You can use it to assign projects, absolutely. So if we have a group project, this is an excellent way to assign a group project. Just a note, so if the owner of the program closes the window, so let's say, you can see Miss Python here in the top right-hand corner. If she closes out her window, we are no longer communicating or collaborating. So it's important to note that. If a student does want to save that collaboration, or they want to save that code, they would have to fork that program. So you can see right here, there is a button called fork, and you may have seen it also referred to as remix. This is a way for them to save that program as their own, and then they can utilize that code. So again, just as a reminder, real important to note, only the project owner can save those changes to the program. And then no changes can be saved once that owner has left the program. So if they've exited from the web browser, they're no longer really collaborating. And what they can do though, is the owner, it can create a new collaboration link to start a new session, or again, the students can fork that program to go ahead and save that code that they wrote. So we are going to do some challenges now, and on the top right-hand corner, you're going to see these challenges correlate to room numbers. So we've got challenge 1, K for Carol. Carol's going to start off at the bottom left corner of that 10 by 10 world, and she is going to need to make a K and end up back where she started. That is room 1. Room 2, you are going to create a tennis ball Christmas tree. And you will need to start at the top. Well, Carol usually starts at the bottom left corner of the world, and you can see she'll end up at the top of the tree facing east. X marks the spot. This one is a 5 by 5 world. It's a little tricky though, because we want to create probably a way to abstract out some details. So perhaps functions and maybe a loop would be helpful. Just a couple hints for that challenge. That's room 3. If you have coded with Python and you are want to try a Tracy challenge, Tracy in room 4 will be making a colored bead. Now, what you want to do is you want to alternate between blue, red, and purple. You're going to need a for loop to shorten your code as well. In room 5, we've got the half pyramid, and Tracy will also need to probably create a variable. That variable can be the amount of circles. You may want to create a for loop as well and decide, where on the world you're going to start. That's going to be something that you can collaborate with your team on. Okay. So forgive me, team. Looks like my slides didn't update. Let me go back. Welcome to the world of teaching virtually. Forgive me, guys. I'm going to go back and make sure that I am in the right place here. Presenter view. There we go. All right, cool. So challenge 1, room 1, K for Carol. Let's try this again. Room 2, Christmas Carol. Room 3, we are going to create the half pyramid with your group. And the hint is the bottom row should start with 8 circles. And then finally, forgive me, the final challenge in room 4 is Pizza Carol. So Pizza Tracy. So she is going to create 8 slices of pizza. And again, she starts in the middle of the canvas, but we're going to need to add, pepperoni or mushrooms or really whatever you'd like. So maybe each person can take a different component or a different topping, and then you're going to create this wonderful looking pizza. Okay, so we're going to start breaking off into groups, but before we do that, really important, we are going to open this document. So this is a Google Doc that will allow you to see those different challenges and kind of which room correlates to which challenges. It'll also have the collaborate links on there that have already been set up by Lori. So you'll be able to just jump right in and start coding with your group. Okay, so again, Lori has thrown that into the chat for you so you can see for that real-time collaboration, you just have to click on codehs.com/experience-challenges, and we're going to break out into groups, and you can choose which challenge you'd like to do.
All right, I'm going to open our rooms, and you'll see the room number is going to match that challenge, and it will say what challenge it is. So you can choose if you want to work in JavaScript or in Python today. All right, those rooms are open, so you can choose which challenge you want to work on and head on it.
And it's okay if you're not feeling especially confident. This is a good time to play with the tool and network with the other teachers at the workshop today. We're all learners, so it's totally okay if you're just starting out. And if you're not seeing how to join that breakout room, go ahead and click breakout rooms at the bottom of your screen. And that should let you choose one of the rooms to enter.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. So I wanted to kind of brag on the K for Carol group. Awesome job. Look at this program you wrote together. So I'm going to go ahead and run the program and just kind of show how our group did. They had a while loop. They were able to put together a couple of loops, actually. Great job, guys. And so my K for Carol group, if you guys want to throw in the chat, how was this experience for you? Tell me about it. Let's see. All right, well, we did a nice job. And by the way, guys, if you needed to see, and I believe, let's see, Lori, how can I see who wrote what? Do you know?
Oh, sure. I think that would end up being on my side of things since
On
it
your
was
side,
mine.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Didn't think about that. Yeah. Since I'm the one who started it, I would be able to actually see the history for everybody. So that would be under more, and then history is where you would see that.
Excellent. Yeah, so we could see kind of who wrote which pieces. So excellent job. And Steve says it was fun and I could write a comment and let my partner fix it. Excellent. Yeah, great way to pair program. So I'm going to hand it over to Lori and have just a few more resources before you go.
All right, everybody. So thank you so very much for hanging out with us for a couple of hours today. I cannot believe how fast it went. I think I say that at the end of every single workshop these days, but it just does. It goes so fast. There's always so many things we want to share with all of you, and we just try to pack it all in as much as we can. So we do have a few more resources for you. If you are interested in the CodeHS Certified Educator Program, I would definitely encourage you to apply for that. I know I was a certified educator. Linda, you were a certified educator, right? Okay. Julia, are you a certified educator? You should probably apply for that, you know, because you're back in the classroom now. Just saying. Okay. You probably don't need to, but awesome program. Lots of cool perks there. If you have not joined the CodeHS Educators Facebook group, you definitely should do that. That's a wonderful group for more networking and just more chances to talk to teachers and get more ideas about how they're using CodeHS in the classroom and just different ideas around computer science and programming classes in general or curriculum. Also, if you would like to check out some of the other workshops that are available this summer, please browse out to that link. We've tossed it into chat a couple of times, but if somebody could maybe throw that in there one more time, that'd be great. And you do have access to these slides again later as well. There's also more workshops being added all the time. We're actually in the process of planning some more teacher-led workshops from our amazing teacher trainers. So keep a close eye on that page. More coming daily, including some cool coding demos that we are planning. Also, if you would like to try this out, we do have a Flipgrid that we would love for you to send us a message on. This is going to be another good place for you to network with the other teachers who are in this particular workshop. But definitely send a message here. You can either do that by browsing out to this link, or you can go to the welcome module and go to the Flipgrid from there, because I did embed it there as well. So take a minute and tell us, what did you learn at the workshop that you might use this fall? We would love to hear what you're doing and any of those awesome ideas that you have. We would also really appreciate it if you would take a minute to fill out our workshop survey. We love doing workshops. I think our favorite part of the job is just working with other teachers and talking to all you about everything that you're doing in your classroom. You all have some amazing ideas, and we would love to know, what else can we bring you? What did we maybe do well? What could we bring you in the future for more workshops? So please take some time to fill that out for us. We so appreciate your help and your feedback. And one more link. We've just got links everywhere. If you would like a certificate for attending this workshop, please browse out to this link. And Julia's tossing all of these into chat about as fast as I'm saying them. So you can go ahead and fill out this completion form worksheet, completion certificate of completion form, blah, all tongue-tied now, to request a certificate for attending this workshop. And that is in chat as well. And that was just a whirlwind of stuff. And we just want to thank you again. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up for today? All right. Well, you all have been awesome. Thank you so much for letting us bring this to you today. Thank you for attending. And thank you for trying out our sandbox tools and checking everything out. Don't hesitate to let us know if you have any questions. We are always here to help. Reach out to us anytime.
Thank you for the seminar.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. We will send out a follow-up email soon. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.